Big crowd in, of course, huge expectation. And the usual grand reception for the Chinese superstar Ding Junhui. What a victory it was for him yesterday. But standing in his way of a 15th ranking title today, the formidable Judd Trump, who's had another spectacularly consistent season. This is his 8th final. Remarkable, really, in this day and age when the standard is so high and there are so many players capable of causing upsets, even in the early rounds. But here he is once again playing for the prize. And that is £170,000 and that trophy over the best of 19 frames, the first to 10 to claim the title. There'll be 9 in this first session, a possible 10 this evening.
Yeah, please.
What an occasion, the final of the World Open. Both of these players are former champions in this tournament. 19 frames to decide who will lift the trophy once again. Players all smiles at the outset, but now it's time for the serious business. And they've had a very tight rivalry down the years. They can't be split. This is their 15th meeting. They've won 7 each. Ding, the most recent winner this season at the UK Championship by 6 frames to 4. And he must be on a high after that nerve-jangling victory yesterday over Neil Robertson. He actually said, Fergal, after that match, that he couldn't feel his legs when he was clearing up to win. But what a match it was. What drama we had.
Absolutely. You could argue in other matches Ding had maybe played better. Missed probably more yesterday than other days, but fantastic result from at the end. Showed great bottle. It was actually great to see at the end. The tap on the table he did, see that emotion, how much it meant to him.
Yeah, I think it was a bit more than a tap, actually. I hope his knuckles are okay today. He gave the table a fair old whack, but you could understand that release of emotion after a roller coaster of a match. Neil Robertson played some great stuff as Ding just undercuts that red. And I'm sure Robertson will be very disappointed because he had chances to win, but I think he'll take a lot of positive things out of the week. Of course, it means he's now got to go to qualifying for the World Championship, having missed out on the chance to get into the Tour Championship by winning today. But he was very gracious in defeat, which was good to see. It was a fantastic match. Of course, Judd Trump came through against Jackson Page, much more straightforward fashion earlier in the day, 6-2. In goes the red, but the shake of the head from Trump, he's not landed nicely on the black. Bound to be a few early final nerves, even for these champions of the sport. Judd Trump going for his 28th ranking title today. And that's a significant figure, because if he does win today, he'll tie the great 6 times champion of the world, Steve Davis, in joint 4th. And he too is a little high.
Yeah, that was a feature of the match yesterday. Unfortunately, the amount of times the mobile phone went off.
It's a pretty nervy start, isn't it? But it's to be expected. Huge respect between this pair and a lot on the line. For Ding, of course, he's looking for his first ranking title in well over 4 years. You have to go back to the 2019 UK Championship for the last time he won one. I think the key moment, actually, looking back now on that second semi-final yesterday, was the red that Neil Robertson missed into the right centre when he was poised for a 4-1 lead and was very much outplaying Ding at that stage. I don't think Ding would have come back from there, but Robertson, perhaps distracted by some movement in the crowd, missed it, and that rather turned the match around.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked very comfortable at that stage. Seen on social media afterwards, he kind of mentioned it, and it also affected his focus and concentration for the next few frames after. 3-4 down, he regained it, and then he had a great chance to win in the balls. 6-4, another good chance at 6-5. So tough result for Neil to take, but as you said, he was classy at the end. Took the time to wish Ding all the best in the final, and again, he's going to be very dangerous. The qualifiers, and if he gets through, no top 16 seed is going to want to play Neil first round.
Absolutely, it's going to be fascinating, isn't it? If he does come through, I would imagine that he would be the favourite in a number of the draws he could get in the first round. Of course, he'll be match tough as well, but all of that is in the future. No one will want to draw him, as you say. That is a certainty. Well, you would have thought Ding had just potted the title-winning ball there. In fact, it's his first pot of the final. And you've got to give him a lot of credit for the way he held himself together in the end to clear to the pink for victory. The pressure was absolutely immense. I think the win over a player of Robertson's calibre would have been all the more satisfying for Ding, given that he didn't play his best, but he found a way to come through nonetheless. And that's something that Trump has been making a habit of in recent times. Winning when you're not quite on your A game. Maybe that's something that Ding hasn't done too much down the years, but he did it yesterday.
Yeah, there has been question marks over the years when Ding has been behind in a match about his desire and motivation to fight and get the result. But he did that yesterday. And apart from the fight he showed to get back in when he had a chance, showed great bottle. A lot of crucial pots that had to be made, and he got them. It bodes very well, not just for today, but for the World Championship. Of course, Ding's still only 36. Still has time himself to win world title or titles.
Very mindful of not touching that green, but I think he's okay. Won this title back in 2017 when he beat Kyron Wilson handsomely in the final 10-3. Of course, Judd Trump is defending the title that he won when this tournament was last staged way back in 2019, before the COVID pandemic. But it's great to have
14.
the Chinese events back in the calendar again. And this tournament has been tremendously well supported right from the first ball this week. And they've been royally entertained as well. 92 centuries we've had at the venue, including a 147 from Zach Shirty, a 146 from Barry Hawkins.
19.
8 of those centuries have been made by Ding.
Just caught the pink on his way down there. As a result, has to use the rest here. Shouldn't be a problem just dropping it in. Noticeable yesterday with Ding, anytime his position of play was less than perfect, how much it bothered him. For most players, just carry on to the next shot, but he's so precise. And he demands perfection of himself.
$25. $26.
Initially, he was unsure exactly how to play it, whether to roll through or screw back for the blue. Got back up. Clarity in his mind. Played it well.
Zhu Ying officiating this final,
32.
the first female Chinese professional referee.
$33.
Some early missteps from both players. Just releasing those early final nerves, but now
39.
Ding beginning to hit his stride. Of course, he has scored prolifically throughout the week, mentioned the 8 centuries he's made. Oh, but he's undercut the red.
Ding Junhui, 39.
So, just a 38-point lead.
Yeah, he seemed to get distracted by what sort of cannon he was going to get on the pink. Ended up taking his eye off the pot. Anyway, disappointed. Became a good opportunity for him.
Judd Trump's 44th ranking final. And looking to win 5 ranking titles in a single season for the 3rd time in his career. Of course, he has the record of 6 in a single campaign. Hard to believe now that he didn't win one last season. Won the Masters, of course, for a 2nd time.
9.
But he's been a serial winner again this season. Still only 34 years of age.
He wouldn't be surprised during his career if he overtakes Ronnie's records for ranking titles won and most centuries.
15.
Not sure we'll ever see anybody overtake Ronnie's record in the Triple Crown events. But he said earlier,
16.
Judd, only 34. Wins today, ties Steve Davis's record. Phenomenal.
I guess that's the only question mark against Judd Trump's formidable CV, that perhaps he should have won more Triple Crown titles than he has.
23.
But I think the point is that he treats every tournament he enters as though it's the World Championship. He treats them with equal respect, puts in the same amount of work and dedication to every tournament he contests, and that's why he wins so many of them. And as mentioned, time very much on his side to further embellish that CV. And he'll certainly be going to the Crucible, whatever happens today, or indeed at the Tour Championship in just over a week's time in Manchester, as one of the most fancied players to lift the title at the Crucible. In the meantime, though, this is awkward. So this frame still very much in the balance, just 10 points between them with 59 left.
Judd, he's had a very successful season. Obviously was taking a little bit of a toll on him. Decided not to play in the Welsh Open and just take a break. Particularly with so many big tournaments coming up at a crucial part of the season.
It's been noticeable, particularly in the last couple of days, that the players have been reaching for a towel just to keep the cue dry. It's obviously quite humid in the arena.
Very high success rate of that kind of shot, Ding. That shot to nothing requires good cueing and plain ball striking. Sometimes from distance, particularly if he needs power, he can be a little bit vulnerable, but those type of shots, excellent at.
Ding Junhui, 1.
Gonna be disappointed there he didn't get the snooker. Should have had the white closer to the brown.
If Ding does win today, he'll be moving up to 6th place ahead of Sean Murphy in the world rankings. Judd Trump will remain in 2nd place behind RonnieO'Sullivan regardless. Of course, Trump is the runaway leader as regards the 1-year points. Snookered on all reds though.
Ding would love to swing the white ball around the angles and potentially get him behind the green, but in order to do that, might have to catch the reds a little bit thicker. Doesn't want to end up pushing the red closer to that right corner. It's obviously fearful of that, and that's why he just played a plain ball. Again, similar issue for Judd here. Would like to swing around the angles, but that would require thick contact. No guarantee what those 3 reds would end up. Wasn't prepared to take that gamble. Ding clearly has the initiative here.
When you have potters and break builders of this calibre, the safety side of the game is going to be pivotal today to determine the outcome. I think Ding will feel he'll need to tighten up on his safety. Made a few errors in that regard against Neil Robertson. Left Robertson chances at long-range reds on quite a few occasions, and of course Robertson is one of the best, if not the best in that regard. Judd Trump right up there as well, so safety is definitely going to play a key part today. And safety is an area of Judd Trump's game which has come on leaps and bounds in recent seasons. He said himself after beating Jackson Page that this has been another tournament where he's not played his best snooker, but here he is once again contesting the title.
Over the years, that's definitely been added to his game. When he first came on the scene, if he played his very best, he could win. But if he wasn't at his best, he wasn't winning, but well able to and happy to win ugly the last few years. Again, if anything, this week he's been slightly under the radar. Other players have probably played better, but as you said, here he is again in the final. It wouldn't be at all surprised if he wins today, and wins well, maybe.
Oh, that's a great pot, because it was a good cue ball that Ding got, but he did leave the red, and Trump getting down and stroking it in. And I think that's part of the reason why Trump has returned to winning ways in spectacular fashion this season as he plays the snooker. His long game very much back. Last season, perhaps, that part of his game went missing a bit, but not this season.
Even that last shot was quite telling. Maybe he was straight on the brown, but certainly earlier on in his career, he would have gambled with powering that brown in and getting down the table to get some shot on those two reds, but takes less risks. Plays more of a percentage game. And it's serving him very well. Become very, very hard to beat. I think just looking at the path, I think the white is so close to the green that might have to come off the bulk cushion first. Just looking at the path, they get judges to get by the blue and then allow for the spread of the cloth. And ideally you'd like to nestle up to the red, to the right of the two, but it's easier said than done. Yeah, that graphic was saying the shot I was talking about, but he actually could hit the side cushion first. But caught the blue, and this will be going back. Actually, Judd's staring down closely, because he was probably unsure that he could get at the potting angle. Didn't want to take a risk. Ding's in a world of trouble here, so obviously believes it's more likely that he'll be given a better chance from Ding.
Foul and miss. Judgment ball.
Shows the value of a great long pot, doesn't it? Just the 1 point at the time, but it's given Trump complete control at the moment. The danger that Ding, even if he does escape from the snooker, when he escapes, could nevertheless leave Trump a chance to clinch the frame.
Foul and miss. Judgment ball.
In the meantime, very handy bonus points for Trump.
Foul and miss. Judgment ball.
Ding giving away plenty of points, but I'd still rather that than make contact with the red and leave Judd a chance. Yeah, good hit. Of course, has left this red for Judd that he's enough of an angle that he can play it as a bit of a shot to nothing. Might have been a little bit concerned or prioritising trying to get a good white, get it down the table. This frame's similar to yesterday's match against Neil Robertson. Both players having chances, not taking them, but just adds to the intrigue and excitement. And already feels important, even though it's only just the very first frame.
That's the point, isn't it? It feels more like a decider, this one. Possible 18 to come after this.
谁的手机调一下静音。
It's another resounding long pot from Trump. They're well used to meeting in big matches, this pair. 3 of their 14 encounters have been at the World Championship. All 3 of those going Judd Trump's way. Beg your pardon, Ding won in 2016 in round 2 at the Crucible. So 4 meetings at the Crucible. Oh, hang on. Ooh.
3.
They've played at the UK Championship. Their most recent encounter, which Ding won, as mentioned earlier, 6-4.
Judd Trump 3.
And they've played in finals as well. Ding winning at the Templedrome in 2014, 9-5. Trump beating Ding in one of the old PTCs, so they're well used to playing when there's a lot at stake. And this epic battle in the opening frame continues. Still only 10 points between them.
A lovely shot. Very well judged. It's a lot harder to hit. Of course, if he does hit it, every chance he leave the red on. Hard to judge when you're so close to the first cushion you're going to hit.
Foul and miss. Judd Trump 6. 韦伯鹰眼。
As I said, when you're so close to the cushion that you're going to hit and playing with pace, it's very hard to judge the throw off the cushion.
那边。
That circle indicating where the brown was, so it needs to go in the centre of that circle. And that's pretty much bang on.
关掉好了，关掉嘛，这个。OK 吗 ？OK，
I play with left-hand side here just to try and get the white over to the red. Missed it by a good bit the last time.
Foul and miss. Judd Trump 4.
Just a fraction away, but still not good enough. Yeah, it's a very good hit.
He certainly won't want that back. 20 now the difference.
Yeah, and of course with Judd being 20 ahead, he doesn't want to play a safety shot here. He's going to take the black out. Might be able to avoid it.
Applause, but I think Trump can pot this red. Chance to clinch the frame. He's already knocked in a couple of crackers from distance in this opening frame. And there's another one right in the middle. So it's been a real battle, this frame. Both players missing very early chances. Judd Trump laying a couple of telling snookers. The points from which have allowed him to be in a position here to pot frame ball yellow.
Ding had the first real good chance. Missed that red when he got preoccupied with cannon on the pink. However, quite a long frame, over half an hour. Both players well settled, plenty of table time.
21. $27. 27.
Judd Trump does the business off another excellent long pot on the final red to take a lengthy opening frame. The World Open final is underway here in Yushan. The defending champion, Judd Trump, who beat Tekchira Nu 5 years ago, the last time this tournament was staged, has taken a real tight opening frame, which lasted in excess of 30 minutes, but there's a long way to go, of course. 10 is the target. There's another 8 in this session, possible 10 in the final session. In this 15th meeting, with 7 wins apiece, Ding having beaten Trump most recently at the UK this season, on his way to the final where he lost to RonnieO'Sullivan. Ding, remember, hasn't won a ranking title since he won his 3rd UK in 2019. Trump, on the other hand, going for his 5th ranking title this season in his 8th final.
Managed to cover that red in bulk. Anxious look from Judd there. He'd love to be able to clip this side of that red, send it down the table. As a result, has to go for this red.
One.
Another great pot. Wasn't overly concerned with the white, just made sure of getting the pot.
Six. 7.
First real good opportunity for Judd here
12.
around the black. Still a couple of open reds.
13.
Just managed to get off the cushion
20.
far enough so he wasn't hampered too much by the red.
21.
Again, still a little bit straight in this black. He's tremendous cue power, but he would have liked a little bit more of an angle. Yeah, and even Judd has limits with his cue power. Again,
28.
poor shot from the red before. It was as easy for him to be perfect on the black as where he ended up. Again, I think frustration
Third round,
there
28.
from that previous error. It's hard when you have a good opportunity and you don't make the most of it, to take those extra few seconds, take your medicine, regroup and play good safety. Took a bit of a gamble there. Yeah, felt there. Judd just kind of walked himself into trouble. Really not the type of match we expected at the start. Quite disjointed, quite scrappy. Easy to accept these type of frames if you're winning them.
I think it's a reflection of how Judd Trump's game has evolved in recent years. That he's now very adept at winning the scrappier frames. It's quite unusual actually to see him play that quite casual double, showing perhaps a bit of frustration at running out of position. Generally now he's able to scrap with the best of them when necessary. And of course we know that his champagne snooker is pretty much unplayable when he finds his A game. But it is quite a circumspect opening to this final. Both players feeling their way into this contest. It's a long one, of course, over 19 frames. We know that someone's going to be leading at the end of this first session with 9 frames to play.
Foul and miss.
Just
丁俊晖 4.
failed to make contact with the red.
Never think that he Judd this red. Very, very careless shot. You can see his head in his hands there. Had loads of options.
1.
But he can maintain a break when quite often it looks as though it's over. That said, it's not getting any easier, this visit to the table. Building a very handy lead.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Probably expected to be on a red. Tempted by this red along the side cushion, but no point in taking any risks here. 46 ahead. Could play this as a shot to nut into the right corner. It's quite thin. Naturally going back down the table. But just find it very hard to just walk away. Wants to win the frame in this visit.
Judge 22.
I think that was the right choice, though. No point taking any unnecessary risk.
.59 still on the table. Trump needed another red to make the frame safe.
I still fully expected Judd to pot that. But the mistake was more losing the white ball slightly. Yeah, good shot there from Ding. Gambleton playing the cannon on the blue, trying to bring it into play. Looks to be quite thin. Can't pot the blue. And screw into those two reds close to the black. Might just have to settle for potting the pink, getting the points. Getting the pink back in play as well.
Seven. Junhui 7.
Ding has managed to get the safe red off the cushion and bring the blue into play.
请观众
Just
把
had enough
手
of the
机
red
调
there
成
to
静音，
clip
手机放
Judd.
下，放下。
Ding clip off the red just below the pink. That's going to free these two reds and the black. So the space of a couple of minutes, the lead Judd had is not as good. Certainly that hurt Ding's cause. Excellent shot.
The crowd enjoyed that one. Ding's been in a couple of fiendish snookers himself already in this final. Now he's turned the tables and there's nothing safe.
Foul, I miss. Ding Junhui, ball.
Yeah, judges the line well, but obviously a bit short of pace. Yeah, judged it well this time. Just also nudges it slightly closer to the cushion. Ding having a look at the possibility of this red. Down to the green pocket.
Oh, wow. It's hung on the lip of the pocket. Well, what a moment. Had that gone in, every chance that Ding could have gone on to pinch this frame and level the final. But now, surely it's going to be Judd Trump's frame for 2-0.
One.
Although, hang on, where's the cue ball ending up here? It's never easy to judge the pace when the object ball is hanging right over the pocket. Obviously, the pot itself is unmissable. Position not quite as straightforward.
He had a massive margin of error, though. Having said that, 42 ahead. Would have been hoping for something easier than this pink into the middle.
Oh, and he's missed it. Well, that's a big let-off for Ding. It looked as though the frame had gone there when he left the red over the hole.
One.
As it is, 42 the deficit, 43 there.
Yeah, didn't strike that pink well at all, Judd. Ding would like to play a good safety shot, obviously, but also tempted. But can he play that good safety shot off the red that's closest to the black cushion? Poor safety shot there from Ding. You can see by his reaction. Okay, that's a couple of careless shots he's played in this frame already. Mind you, that could change it. Still needs a snooker now, Ding, but I think he was out of his chair. The blue doesn't go, he was ready to go to the toilet and concede.
请大家保持安静。
Another eventful frame. It's been a very tense start to this World Open final. Ding now chasing the snooker he needs to turn this frame around. No breaks as yet. But these scrappy, tight frames are so important. They can be the difference at the end of a final of this length between victory and defeat. Inevitably, we're going to see plenty of big breaks as this day unfolds, as Trump plays another telling snooker himself, with Ding needing the snooker. But the scrappier, tighter frames might well make the difference.
Judge 7. Frame conceded.
By 6 frames to 4, and he must be on a high after that nerve-jangling victory yesterday over Neil Robertson. He actually said, Fergal, after that match, that he couldn't feel his legs when he was clearing up to win.
Board, so he'll be delighted with that. A further 7 to come in this first session, a possible 10 tonight. The first to 10, of course, to be crowned champion and pick up the first prize of 170,000, and that's another terrific long pot from Trump. We've already seen a number of those in the opening 2 frames.
Yes, slightly worrying times for Ding. Hasn't made a great start.
4.
Had a very good chance in the first frame. Again, Judd hasn't played particularly well either, but he's 2-0 up. He's going to be far more relaxed and settled.
5.
Against a player of Judd's class, he just can't afford to be leaving that traditional red that seems to be left on the break a hell of a lot. No surprise that Judd's potted. It wouldn't be a big surprise if he wins the frame from it. And very quickly this session could get away from him.
10.
Judd's not a player you want to be chasing. And he's been very patient and disciplined. He's played his way into this final. You could say he's earned the right to play well. That may well happen.
Yes, Trump has himself said that he hasn't been at his best this week. At times he's had to scrap his way through to the title match, but we've seen him do that on a number of occasions during this extraordinary purple patch that he's enjoyed. The serial success that he's been able to achieve. Quite often he's been below par, but his match play now, his determination, has won the day. Ding, I would say, has played the better snooker of the two to get to the final, but it's all about who performs today. And at the moment, Trump in charge with a chance to extend his lead, increase the pressure on the home favourite in the process.
$17.
Great shot there from Judd. A power
24.
top spin. You can see the white ball arc in. Delayed effect. Again,
25.
signs that he's really starting to settle into this. Felt before the final, if one player was going to win comfortably, Judd was more likely or in the winning habit. And his best
30.
can just take the game away from his opponents.
31.
I guess the other factor
37.
coming into this final is that Trump is well rested. Had a relatively straightforward victory over Jackson Page, who couldn't reproduce the form he showed in getting to his first ranking semi-final. He won with plenty to spare, 6-2. Ding, on the other hand, put through the ringer well and truly on his way to that dramatic pink ball victory over Neil Robertson, which maybe has taken a little out of him in the way of adrenaline and
44.
tension in the early stages of this final. We've seen instances of that before. Either way, this is now becoming a gilt-edged chance for Trump to extend his lead.
45.
Mentally and emotionally, that match would have taken an awful lot out of Ding. Of course, even after the match then, you've all the media obligations. Again, probably took a few hours before settling, get to sleep. Then you wouldn't even know what quality of sleep you would get. Again, one of those issues concern Judd.
51.
Last few years, been in an awful lot of finals. Used to winning them. Things gone through a slight drought, you would say, for him. Expect Judd to make this 3-0.
58.
The next frame before the interval. Quite important.
59.
Noticeable with Judd as well, his pace around the table just picked up. Yes, it's a good opportunity, but also you can see he's just growing in confidence.
66.
And this is what makes him such a dangerous player these days. He can scrap it out when required, and then when he gets the chance to score, he does it very quickly and in intimidating fashion. So it's definitely going to be 3-0. And
72.
early problems here for Ding Junhui, who hasn't quite settled into this final as yet. Just missing the
73.
cannon there. .74 centuries for Judd Trump this season. So he needs 26 for 100 for a single campaign for the second time, which is not beyond the bounds of possibility. With the Tour Championship, the World Championship still to come, a lot of snooker to be played in this final. He needs a further 25 to reach the magical 1,000 figure for centuries made. Extraordinary stuff.
85.
When you consider he turned pro in 2005, still only 34. And again, not quite able to dislodge that red, which of course he's going to need to make a ton here.
Judd Trump.
Close, but not quite. No century, but 88 will do for Judd Trump, who's taking a grip on this World Open final in the early running. And Ding Junhui needs a response in the frame before the first interval. Just seen him dominate frame 3 with a break of 88. Judd Trump then, the defending World Open champion, of course, breaking off in frame 4, a frame that Ding urgently needs.
Yeah, Judd from his break leaving Ding. Similar red from the other side of the table. Again, no surprise. These top players pot it. It's only surprise that he's not on a ball colour. Again, this top level, you just can't afford to be leaving your opponent a pot, and particularly that standard pot from the break off. Said yesterday I'd be fascinated to know the statistic for how many frames are lost in the pro game just from the break-off alone. Turns out he only got the 1 point from it, so basically the frame nearly restarting. Nearly mini-game, both players trying to get that first chance. What's a very important frame. You feel more important for Ding than Judd.
Congratulations, by the way, to Robbie McGuigan, the 19-year-old. Will be a professional for the first time from next season. He's won the European Amateur title in Sarajevo. Beat Craig Steadman 5-4 in the final, his 5th consecutive final frame deciding win. So Robbie showed a lot of bottle in winning that title. Big moment for him. And he could look forward to joining the pro ranks from 2024-25.
Apart from Ding being a bit quiet and lackluster today, see Judd having this 3-0 lead. Crowd are fairly quiet and subdued as well. There's a big roar there for Ding before he had this opportunity.
They were clapping every shot, weren't they, at the climax of yesterday's match? Fantastic entertainment, it really was.
And then even at the end, I've never seen a player need a police escort to get out of the arena. It was mad, it was.
Well, when Ding was beating Hossein Vafai by whitewash, there were thousands crowded outside watching on the big screen. Those fans who couldn't get a ticket to be in the arena. He is akin to royalty in China, Ding Junhui.
8.
And you have to say he's handled it tremendously well down the years. The weight of expectation at times must have been overwhelming.
Yeah, if he ever felt that pressure, we never found out about it. Always been a class acting on and off the table. And a great ambassador for the game.
$15.
Putting this red in the middle of the pack as an opportunity to stun down for the black. A little bit awkward here. He's just having a look. I don't think the 2 reds above the black spot are available, so he'll probably have to drop this in dead weight, then play for the red into the opposite corner. Actually, he did just have enough of an angle to run it through, and that red above 29. Those 2 I was talking about. And you feel he's just one good position shot away from making it an excellent frame winning chance.
13. $37.
That red at the bottom of the pack also goes. But even with that red highlighted there and the one along the cushion, still needs another red or 2, so we still have to disturb the rest of the reds. And a nice shot there. Deliberately left himself low on this red. So in potting it, he's naturally going to be disturbing the other reds. And he's just looking... Well, there's not much of a gap, but just conscious of not getting stuck in the pack and getting away from there anywhere up the table. He's bound to have a choice of one of the colours, and the reds will be open. He does like to be precise. He likes to know exactly where not just one ball, but probably all the balls will be, but he feels sure if he just pots this with pace, he's bound to be on a colour. Yeah, a bit unfortunate. Two of the reds that have come open have went on the side cushion, but still there's this pink just off straight. Cue that nicely in, similar to the last ready pot. He's low on it and potting this red, he'll clip that red away from the pink.
Well, this is exactly what Ding Junhui needed, and Judd Trump, even though he's going to be at least 3-1 up at the interval, Ding hasn't quite clinched this frame yet. He'll be annoyed, I think, because he had a chance, a very gettable red from distance by his standards. Pretty straightforward one, which he missed, and allowed Ding this opportunity to finally feel part of this World Open final, but still a bit of work to do. That cannon, though, has scuppered position, so it's a very healthy lead. Still 75 on the table. A couple of awkward reds. Ding very much favourite, but not quite over the line. One or two spectators applauding, thinking that was going in. It was close.
Rumble. Judd triple one.
So Ding now looking for one more red to leave Trump requiring a snooker. 59 the difference.
Ding trying to get cover on that red behind the brown and green. As it turns out, Judd won that little mini safety battle, you feel. His goal was to get this red down the table. And 59 behind. All the balls available. Thinking of pass the green and play the red in the open. He might be tempted. Pots a high percentage of these. More difficult now that he's digging into the white.
Wow, what a way to clinch the frame. Fantastic pot from Ding Junhui. And he'll feel a whole lot better for this frame, and seeing that red disappear. What a pot. Judd Trump would certainly have taken 3-1 at the outset, of course, but he did have the early opportunity in this frame from distance, missed the red. Ding got in, and with that sensational pot, should now have won this frame. And another one. So he's going to be going into the mid-session interval feeling a good deal better. First 3 frames, a real frustration for Ding. He had chances in the first 2, which were very tight. Was shut out in the third to a break of 88 from Trump. But having been given the chance at the start of this frame,
And a frame.
he has been able to take it and get himself a foothold in this World Open final. So at the first interval here in Yushan, it's advantage Judd Trump, the defending champion, but Ding Junhui has a frame. Trump leading by 3 frames to 1. We're back underway. Ding Junhui breaking off in frame 5, feeling a whole lot better, I'm sure, for his break of 59, which helped him to win the 4th frame after Trump had taken a 3-0 lead, helped by a break of 88. Winning both the opening frames, very tight frames that could have gone either way. And at that stage, Trump at 3-0 was threatening to really run away with this final, but his progress checked by Ding in the 4th. Even so, Trump will be eyeing a big first session lead, and that is another terrific red. The only one I can recall him missing, Fergal, from distance was right at the beginning of the 4th frame, and that proved to be significant. But aside from that, he's looked great from long range.
And all the more reason why you just can't be leaving him that red from the break-off. That's twice he's done it in a row. Twice he's potted, and again from the last time he potted, he made an 88. So I'm not necessarily saying that Ding needs to do the Mark Williams break and roll up, but you just can't afford to be leaving that red.
I think there's increasingly a view that the break-off is no longer the advantage that it used to be considered as, given how slick these modern cloths are. The danger of leaving a red out and the quality of the long potting of these top players means that it's more of a liability these days than an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Gone back years now. If I have won the toss at the start of the match, I've let my opponent break. Again, really no good can come up from breaking off. Very unlikely you're going to do such a good break off that your opponent's going to make a mistake and let you in. But you can give the initiative away. Of course, it's not the fact that they pot the red. It's the 80 break they make after it's the problem. And again, Ding was 2 frames behind, poor break, 3 frames behind. He worked really hard, made a great break. And then right in the very first shot, he's let Judd in again. In this modern game, it's just becoming a cardinal error. Again, players still seem to be quite accepting of it. Oh, what could I do? We put one for my break. Don't leave him a red from your break.
The other thing that happens a lot more regularly these days as Trump goes into the pack is bringing a red back up the table off the break. You see that a lot. Quite often you'll see a player with the opportunity to pot one into one of the centre pockets off the break-off. So, yeah, all in all, very questionable as to whether it's a good thing these days. Anyway, Trump
29.
with a nice little recovery shot there.
Played a great shot on the black, actually. Potted with strong right-hand side. So when it screwed off the cushion, went back up the table towards where the reds were that he disturbed. Again, he's in a good position here, more or less parallel with the black. Looking at maybe going into them again. He felt it was better. Open reds. Try and pick them off.
36. 37.
Trump chasing his 7th ranking title in China today.
44.
Won his first back in 2011, the China Open, which he retained in 2016. Won the International Championship
45.
for the first time in 2012, which took him to the world #1 ranking for the first time. Regained that title back in 2019. The last year, of course, that we had snooker in China before he won, to become only the 5th player. The last one was actually Ding. But he's looking good for a 4-1 lead here. That said, he's not landed nicely on this red. 58 in front. Delicate shot required here to keep the break going. It's a pretty thinnish cut. Had to put everything into the pot there. Position was trusting to luck to some degree. Well, there's the other side of Judd Trump these days. The hard match player. Just buying himself a bit of insurance by pushing the brown to the side cushion to protect his 59-point lead.
Great attempt by Ding there to get him behind the green. Looks like the white's gone past enough, so Judd has this shot to nothing to the left corner. Maybe he didn't actually after all. Again, considering played the other safety shot, quite careless to catch that red on the right-hand side. That's left a shot for Ding, but not easy across the table. Called in.
Well, that was a better shot than it looked. Awkward cueing. He had to get it, otherwise the frame was surely gone. Well, this would be some steal, wouldn't it? 58 behind. A lot to do, but a chance.
Eight. Nine.
Could take the opportunity of rolling through for the red on the right-hand side cushion. And obviously playing the white ball was going to end up too close to the red. Leave it there for the
15.
moment.
22.
They tried to disturb that red from the side cushion. Yeah, was
Junhui,
tempted by the
22.
double.
So Trump's lead 37. Oh, he's overcut the red. Had that gone in, it was surely the frame. He only needed the black to leave Ding requiring a snooker. So Trump hasn't quite been able to kill this frame off.
One. 请大家保持安静。
Still hope then for Ding Junhui. 33 the deficit, 43 on.
Ding Junhui, 4.
Easier safety shot to play is the one that's close to the cushion. Just glance off it and go up the table, but obviously Judd 33 ahead. He's reluctant to take it away from the cushion. Played the double, got the treble. He won't mind. And also, looks like he's enough of an angle. You can either play behind or maybe elect to take this red off the cushion.
Ding Junhui gradually edging his way back into contention in this frame. Yet more mobile phones. Of course, Trump pushed that brown safe earlier in the piece.
Ding Junhui, 8.
Just got to feel this frame. One of those that could ultimately go against Trump, even though he's been in charge of it throughout. Hasn't quite been able to kill it off yet, and the longer it goes on like that, the more jeopardy there is for him.
managed that well. Just about had the natural angle just past the middle pocket and across. This little exchange, I think I'd love to be able to play some shot to bring the brown into play.
Took a while to raise from his chair there, didn't he? He's snookered.
Yeah. He was anxious to see, was he snookered? Now he's just looking, can he just swerve it around past the pink, past the brown, and catch that red from the back. Actually swerving around the other way. That was a good hit.
Ah, lovely. Very nice. And now that brown that Judd Trump pushed to the side cushion to buy himself some insurance becomes all important. What a frame this would be for Ding to steal. He's not really fired yet in this final, has he? But if he could make it 3-2, what a result that would be.
Yeah, massive. Might have the angle here actually to develop the brown.
Oh, goodness, he's done that all right. Now Trump has real cause for concern. The blue is also a bit awkward. But this is a chance that seems so unlikely at one stage in this frame.
Yeah, when Judd got in first, made 59, would have feared the worst. We had a lovely shot. Again, where the brown is quite close to the blue as well, so... And awkward queuing here. Probably have to play this with right-hand side. Pot it, come off the side cushion, top cushion, and check back towards the blue.
$17.
Yeah, could have played that a bit better. However, he's back in the game. First chance to play a telling safety. Maybe get a snooker behind the black.
Junhui, 17.
Yeah, just short of pace.
A dramatic finale then to this huge fifth frame now. Trump looking to go 3 clear again. Seemed a certainty to do that at one stage. Less so now.
Obviously tempted by the possibility of getting the snooker behind black or pink. But in trying to do that, there's a possibility he could leave the blue on. His priority here is to make sure he gets the blue ball safe. He's trying to get it close to that cushion. Looks like it's just gone far enough. If Judd can play it safety round the angles, blue will go close to the black. Get the white as close as he can to the ball cushion.
Would have been concerned for a moment there, but happily for Ding, the blue has run safe.
Played that very well, Judd. Just coming down to see. Got to play cushion first. Just look to see exactly what contact he wants in the blue. See him addressing the white ball with that left-hand side. And again, didn't quite catch it exactly as he wanted. And result, blue hit the pink, but the pink safe. Judd will be delighted to see. Even though Judd, in theory, needs it himself. Judd puts the blue, be 13 ahead, but
Cue ball.
Junhui, 5.
yeah, now obviously both players certainly need that pink. Quite careless there from Judd to
请大家保持安静，谢
let
谢
the。white run enough to go in off. Again, by far the most important frame of the final. Ding wasn't able to get much distance between the two balls. The last shot, Judd certainly has the advantage here. Could have the equivalent of 3 black ball games here, nearly 3 separate games. And whoever pots the blue would only need the pink.
So close that the blue has stayed right over the hole, but of course Trump still has the issue of that pink.
请大家保持
Yeah,
安
that's why
静，
Ding
谢谢，保持安静。
went for that blue just to try and pot it. So he would only need the pink. Got very close. Not sure if Judd can hit this thin enough to come down the cushion and disturb the pink.
Oh, it's a terrific shot.
5.
Well, what a battle this frame has been. Judd Trump was red-hot favourite for most of it. Ding was threatening to snatch it from his grasp, but now Trump is 1 ball away from 4-1. And then it goes. Trump will be relieved. That would have been a painful frame to lose, and frustration for Ding, who was eyeing a possible steal there to get back to within 1. So Trump, 3 frames clear once again.
And nice fluke for Ding, but not on a colour.
That was a fluke and a half, wasn't it?
Ding Junhui 1.
And it's not so much the chance or lack of chance that Ding got. It's if it doesn't go in over the hole for Judd, nice starter.
Judd Trump himself had a couple of extraordinary flukes against Kyron Wilson earlier in the tournament, back-to-back. Quite incredible. Seemed to knock the stuffing out of Kyron. He never really recovered. Another opportunity here for Ding. Oh no.
1. Green ball.
At least he can see the green.
Ding Junhui 1. Foul and miss. Ding Junhui 4.
Probably played the same shot again, Judd. A little bit more pace. Of course, be anxious to hit on this one. Yeah, played it well. Of course, if he missed it that time in his next shot, he would have to do something different.
Judgment 4.
Again, careless shot from Ding there. Obviously, he's playing to put it close to the jaws, but shouldn't have went in off. Hasn't left anything on, of course, but Judd now is ball on the tee, hand on the table. Good chance to play a telling safety and open a few reds, put Ding in trouble. More important on Ding's safety shot that kept on the side of the table rather than the length. Didn't need to jeopardise the in-off. Didn't really take advantage of that at all, Judd. Again, chance falls to Ding to play a good safety shot. Yeah, has a long straight red he can pop, but in order to get position, have to hit this beautifully and screw back.
Terrific cueing. We saw him pop a spectacular red at the end of the 4th frame to clinch the frame. That was another sweet piece of cueing.
In the last couple of seasons, that kind of shot requiring power, his timing, delivery, the cue hasn't been so good consistently, but he hit that beautifully. And the kind of shot give you a lot of confidence. Again, despite not playing as well as he'd like, Ding, competing well, battling well.
6.
Yes, it's been a bit of a struggle today. Indeed, it was for long periods against Neil Robertson yesterday, and it was that determination that ultimately won the day for Ding. He wasn't able to find the form that had got him to the semi-final, and it's been a similar sort of story today. Some of the frames have been awkward. He's been on the wrong end of the tight ones on 3 occasions, which is hurtful to lose all of those tight frames so far. But he can still get out of this session in reasonable shape with the decisive session later to come. Got to keep plugging away.
Even if he was to share the next 4 frames, 6-3 down, no major panic. Obviously, certainly doesn't want to be 7-2 or worse behind. On the other side, Judd will be looking for as big a lead as possible. Probably take a 6-3 lead now. Caught that very fine. Ended up catching that green. Judd just coming down to have a look at that plant. Obviously he's left a red to the left of the table he could go for, but he'd love that plant to be a certainty. He's just looking at putting the first red onto the 2 that seem to be touching. If he feels it's too risky, he does have that other red. Still will require a good bit of cueing. Yeah, struck that well. Still a bit congested down there. Puts the black, won't go on its spot. Might even go on the pink spot. Just taking time out to have a look. See what's the best way to attack this.
9.
That was a bonus having the plant. A little bit unfortunate the reds blocked him to the blue. Of course, still has the yellow. At some point, he'll be looking to try and get an angle on the blue. You can play a cannon down. On one shot, he'd disturb the pink, the black, and a couple of reds.
Eleven.
Played that well, managed to avoid the brown.
17.
Just leave himself high on the blue. Is the option of that cannon I was talking about. Doesn't have to play with too much pace. It's going to disturb the pink and black. Just glance those couple of reds below it. A bit surprised he didn't play that.
23. 24.
That's the danger of just picking off the reds. Each time you play it, you have to be high on the blue. Short or straight and you're in trouble. There's enough reds and points available that you can win the frame without playing that
29.
cannon, but it just makes it a lot harder.
Trump.
So Trump losing position. His lead 21. Of course, if Trump wins this frame, he's guaranteed a lead of some kind going into the final session. Again, referee Zhu Ying reminding spectators to remain still on the shot. Oh no. Trump is normally very effective at those shots to nothing. That one he got wrong and caught the red, so being back at the table with half a chance. Yeah, it was thin. It was thin. You could tell he wasn't entirely comfortable on it, and he has hit it too thick. So a let off for Trump. So Trump nicely back in amongst the reds, a chance to take his lead to 4 frames for the first time, which will put him in a very commanding position.
And at this visit, he'd be far more reluctant
7.
to play that cannon on the pink and black. The reds are in nice positions. Doesn't have to go anywhere near them. And also, if he was to break down, it's a little bit of insurance that both of them are tied up.
12. 13.
'Slightly overrun that. You can see a little bit frustrated.
18.
It's just straighter on the red than he would have liked. Doesn't have a natural angle to go for the blue.
$19.
And even with his cue pair, wasn't able to get high on the blue, but still low enough to have a nice angle to go off a couple of cushions for the red.
$24.
Still one red away from clinching the frame, barring a snooker. And that was drilled into the pocket. So Judd Trump tightening his grip on this final. It's not been a classic so far, but crucially, he's won all of the tight frames. Ding did have a chance to get back into this. Had that finish cut with the rest into the right centre.
28.
In the event he undercut it, perhaps being wary that he might hit it too thin, and Trump has got back in and done the rest.
Judd Trump, 28.
Barring snookers, that is. 49 the difference, so Ding needs 2. It does feel as though Ding is feeling the effects of his dramatic, the remaining 3 frames, Fergal, to give himself that opportunity.
Absolutely, and for starters, he doesn't want to leave this red off the break again. Or has cost him 2 frames already. And a lot better there. And yeah, certainly you feel he has to win 2 of these 3 frames. 6-3 is not too bad. He can regroup and come out and play better tonight. But of course, so can Judd. Judd hasn't been at his best. Again, if Judd is 6-3 up, it's probably more likely that he's going to come out and play his best stuff, having that lead. Ding has battled well, but you do feel that he's just lacking that little bit of energy. Needs something to change the dynamics of the match and also change the energy in the room. It's quite quiet and subdued. Again, if you can get a few frames on the board, get the crowd more involved, raise the atmosphere. But this could be not quite done and dusted, but Judd could certainly break the back of the match if it's 7-2. And of course, was worst case scenario for Ding 8-1.
Foul MS, Ding Junhui 4.
Just the one break of substance from Ding, the 59 that helped him win the 4th frame. This session could have been very different, of course, had Ding pinched that 5th frame, and he had the opportunity. Played a terrific cannon to release the awkward brown, which Trump had pushed safe, but the blue was also awkward, and ultimately Trump won it on the pink. All 3 of the tight frames have gone Trump's way. That's made such a big difference. Again, not the best safety. Hand on the table for Trump. Feeling confident with a big cushion now of 4 frames. Looking to go in for the kill in this first session.
He'll be anxious to get as big a lead as possible going into tonight's session.
Judgment 6.
Yeah, surprising miss there. And not only has he left this red, the rest, it's not a certainty, but the black there, it's possible in playing the black, he could maybe disturb the pack.
Yeah, second frame in a row that Ding has missed with the rest when he had a chance. He does look a little subdued out there at the moment. Maybe running on empty mentally right now.
Yeah, just having a good look to see. Has he the putting angle? And if he catches it real thin, without any side, he'll just be pushing the black up the table. Yeah, didn't really have the angle, and that's why he played with that little bit of side, which just pushed it in. That's how he got the thicker contact, and he can consider himself very lucky, considering he missed it. Are we touching both, maybe?
Excellent shot from Ding. Oh, hang on. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, fair play to Ding. As soon as we're going to see it here.
Yeah, he's moved the red. Oh.
Just underneath him, yeah.
It was such a clever shot he played, because he obviously had to move that red, otherwise he was leaving it for Trump. But just nothing going for Ding at the moment.
Yeah, it just sums up his day, but again, fair play to him. Owned up to it straight away. Mind you, gave it a bit of a clatter. I think we probably would have noticed if that red came into play, but instinctively he owned up. Again, the reds in nice positions now. The black close to the corner.
6.
Normally you'd expect Judd to win the frame from here.
7.
Wouldn't say Judd's under pressure, but he'd be just keen to try and capitalise, make the most of this. There's no guarantee coming out tonight Ding would play as poorly or feel as bad, so tonight doesn't go so well. He wants to have as big a lead as possible.
11.
Again, but he's in such a winning habit. With a big lead, he's going to be very hard to stop.
12.
I feel Ding is going to have to play sensational tonight to stop him.
That's the thing, isn't it? Trump is so used to winning this season, going for his 5th ranking title of the campaign. And this is 8th final. He's a great front runner in any case, but with so many titles under his belt already, it's going to be so difficult for Ding to wrestle back the initiative if Trump can carve out a really commanding lead, which is looking increasingly likely in this session. 6-3 would be tough enough for Ding to overturn anything worse than that, and it's very hard to see him getting back into things.
$26. 31. 32.
'Again, played that very well.
39.
Played it with the strong right-hand side. When it comes off the cushion, that side actually takes it up left out into the middle of the table where he disturbed the reds.
40.
Yes, looking like a formality now for 6-1. Ding, who executed that pot superbly, only to dislodge another red as he was queuing. It looks likely to cost him this frame.
47. 48. 53. 54.
That was frame ball.
Not
only the next two frames have been important, but you also feel the start of the next two frames are important.
60.
Feels imperative. Ding gets in, gets first chance. Looking more and more relaxed as
65.
this final's going on. He's not at his
66.
best, but he hasn't been put under any pressure. So far, there's no reason to believe it's not going to be his day again this season.
You've got to win your fair share of those tight frames, haven't you? And all of them have gone against Ding.
72.
The fifth frame felt big. Very nearly stole that one from under Trump's nose
73.
after Trump had got in with 59. And 3-2, it would have been Trump feeling probably the worst of the two from 3-0 up. And then Ding is really in the session, but Trump was able to take it on the pink, and he's powered away to this 6-1 lead.
79. Judd Trump. 79.
A break of 79 then from Judd Trump after Ding inadvertently fouled when potting a red, immediately owning up to it. But his problems are deepening. Judd Trump powering to 6-1. But it is those tight frames that have really hurt Ding. They've all gone against him. Just 150 break from him, which helped win him the fourth frame. Aside from that, Judd Trump has held sway every time. 6-1 up, two more to come in this first session, 10 required for the title.
Judd's left that red for Ding. Just came down to see is the black available into the right corner. If not, he'll have to run it through for blue or pink. Actually elected to stun around the back of the black, and very good shot, particularly as the foul went off just as he was about to strike the white. And that was another good pot. There was pressure on that.
8. 9.
10.
16.
Yeah, took a bit of a gamble there to try and get into the pack and open a few more reds. And on nothing. And only making 16 from there will just add to his frustration.
Yes, it was a terrific red to get in, but not much to show. Well, that's really opened things up. Whoever gets in next could make hay.
Yeah, when you play a thick safety shot like that, imperative that you get a cover.
Well, the mobile phone going off as Ding was down on the shot there.
Yeah, didn't cue that as well as some of the shots he's had earlier. Just lost his timing a little bit on that one. And all these shots are just that little bit more difficult. 6-1 down.
Another nice pot from Trump. It's that mental battle that you have in a situation like this to keep believing that it's possible to turn things around. Of course, it is possible. We saw Mark Allen do it to Ding in the UK Championship final last season from this precise position. 6-1 adrift. He ended up losing just one more frame. But it's so difficult, particularly when you're up against, in terms of the ranking tournaments, the player of the season. And this is another great chance for Trump to inflict more pain and move further away from his opponent.
$15. 16.
Judd in a lovely position, not just in the match, but even in this frame. Plenty of reds open. Black available. And just hasn't been put under any pressure today.
19. 20.
If anything, a 10-1, 10-2 result looks far more likely than a comeback.
First couple of frames were so important, weren't they? They were both tense, tight affairs.
27.
Errors on both sides, but crucially, Trump came out on top on both occasions.
28.
And then, once again, the fifth frame could easily have gone Ding's way in the end. Trump won it on the pink.
$35. 36. 43. 请观众保持安静，手机调成静音。44.
A lot easier to ignore those disruptions from the phone when you're 6-1 up and banging amongst the balls. It has been noticeable the last couple of days in particular, the amount of times the phones are going off. Don't recall it happening so much since we've been back in China this season, but
50.
just wonder with people how many times they need to be told.
51. Fifty-eight.
Of course, as I mentioned earlier, it's noticeable how quiet the arena is.
That certainly wasn't the case at the start of this final. Huge
59.
reception from this crowd for both players, actually, but of course Ding is worshipped here in China. It's just not worked out for him. Definitely signs that yesterday's semi-final has taken quite a bit out of him.
66.
And Trump, in contrast, of course, played in the first semi for a start, and secondly, it was, in the end, a straightforward 6-2 win over Jackson Page. Ding went to the penultimate ball in a real roller coaster with Robertson. For my money, the best match of the tournament. But maybe he's paying a price for that today. And Trump is doing what he's been doing all season. He's just relentlessly consistent and still playing within himself. You feel there's plenty more gears for him to find if necessary. Will he need them, though? The way things are going, this could be over pretty quickly this evening.
71.
Still looking for a first century of the
78.
final. He's made 6 this week. Tried his best there to keep the break going.
Judd Trump, 78.
But 78 will do very nicely for Judd Trump, who is moving inexorably towards a second. Just one frame to show
Last
for his
frame of
efforts.
this session.
A lot of tight
Thinking
frames
break.
which have all gone against him, and now 6 behind with this final frame of session 1 to come. Trump 3 away from the title.
Yeah, he was a little bit concerned about the red above the black and overcompensated, got the pack on the side. Accepting this red, it's not easy. Certainly not made any easier by being 7-1 down. Good putt, and to be fair, good response from the crowd. Obviously trying to give him some positive vibes, some energy. Yeah, and even if he wins this 7-2 down, it's still very unlikely, but
5.
to forget about that as best he can and just forget the score.
6.
Just keep playing until if and when he runs out of time.
Well, he certainly showed a lot of battling qualities yesterday when he was also below par against Neil Robertson. And that, in the end, got him through, because for large parts of that match, Robertson outplayed him, outscored him. Today, obviously, has been magnified. Just one frame to show into the pack, but you heard the gasps of frustration from his fans.
13.
He is on the red.
14. $21. 22. 27. 28.
Ding was looking for last season in the World Grand Prix final against Mark Allen from 7-2 behind to force a decider. First, he's got to win this
35.
frame.
He's employed himself very well here, Ding, considering he's bound to be deflated. There's one positive thing for tonight for Ding coming out. 7-2 down. No pressure on him. Everybody expecting Judd to win. So he can relax. And if he was to mount any sort of a comeback, you can imagine the response from the crowd, which could help him. But regardless of how he's feeling, he's going to have to play
42.
exceptionally well. And for spells, not miss.
And even that might not be enough, because Trump, of course,
43.
has plenty more gears at his disposal if he is threatened. But Ding right now will be thinking, we'll make him earn it. Victory from here, highly unlikely, but all you can do is give your best and see what happens. And he's certainly doing that right now in his bid to get just his second frame of this final on the board and finish a very disappointing session on a high note. Every chance that he can do that now. Just his second half century of the day.
After the interval, the quality of play and pace of play is picked up. Starting to see more breaks come in, less scrappy.
$56.
Ding scored.
I was just going to say, Trump has made 4 breaks of over 50, a top break of 88 in the third frame, a couple of 70s in the last 2.
57.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up the match, but unfortunately there is that big lead for Judd. But Ding has scored really, really heavy this whole tournament. Well, as I've seen him play in years, and that
64.
includes the run he had to the UK Championship
Yes, I agree. I think he has been quite outstanding all week, and yesterday he showed a different side of his game. He showed that he can really knuckle down and fight when he is struggling, but up to the match with Robertson, he was scoring for fun. So it's been a very positive week for Ding, but that probably won't be of much consolation if he is to end up as the runner-up this evening. But he's still fighting, and he's now on the cusp of his second frame. This is frame ball. And that applause is well deserved, because he's
72.
dug in here, as he had to do, give himself some glimmer of hope. Just a reminder
73.
of the snooker he has been playing to get to this final. And for Judd Trump, well, it's been a terrific session, clearly. He'll be delighted with 7-2. But now, a great chance to end this session with a century. The first of the final would be Ding's 9th of the week.
Regardless of what happens tonight, the form Ding has shown, definitely going to be a serious threat for the World Championship, particularly if he shows what he's shown this week.
90.
The heavy scoring
91.
added to battling qualities which he showed, which you'd need over 17 days. You're not going to play brilliant all 17 days. And he would be a very popular world champion.
Well, this has been
99.
an immaculate break. He certainly summoned the blood in this frame. And he's just sending a message to his opponent that he's going to go down fighting if he is to go down. Another foul from Ding, but this time it wasn't important. He has won the final frame. He has finished a very frustrating session on a high, but it's Judd Trump in complete control at the midway point of this World Open final. He leads by 7 frames to 2.
Thank you. Frame 10. Judd Trump to break.
So Judd Trump leads Ding Junhui 7-2. This is the final session of the World Open final, and he is just 3 frames away from the £170,000 first prize and his 28th ranking success, 5th this season. And Ding knows what he has to do. He has to produce exactly the snooker that's got him to the final, that so far we haven't really seen from him today. If he is to firstly make this close and put some pressure on. Neil folds alongside him. It's a tall order, clearly, Neil.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, hard to think that he would win. I think if you saw a scoreline of 6-3, maybe that can be a slightly dangerous lead. You've still got to win another 4, and you're not over the line by any means. But 7-2, well, he'll have to play some of his best snooker for many a year to somehow overturn that, because he was 6-1 up in the UK final that Mark Allen beat him in last season. But he's going to have to play brilliantly, and maybe a dip in form from the man he's up against, which is unlikely, Judd Trump. You're right, though. He didn't play all that well. Whether that was any kind of a reaction, I think the problem that Ding Junhui sometimes has is that, you know, when he isn't playing so well as all that, he doesn't dig in like other players might do. Oh, that's a lovely red to start, so solidly struck.
Yes, Trump hasn't really been put under significant pressure in the final. And he's a proven winner, of course. He's not like he's going to be sort of sweating about the finishing line. So he's in first here in frame 10. It's his 8th final all told of the season, 7 in ranking tournaments.
8.
Looking for his 5th trophy. And if he does win,
9.
For the third time in his career, he'll have earned over £1 million in prize money for a single season. He'll also be just behind Ronnie O'Sullivan in the world rankings at the top, so could potentially go past him at the Tour Championship.
Yes, Judd was himself was 7-3 down to Zhang Anda in the English Open in Brentwood at the beginning of that golden run of 3 in a row. First to 9 as well, and he came back. Comebacks do happen, but it's the perfect start to the evening session.
Well, actually, but it looked like the cue ball was going to come in behind the green, which would have been a bit fortunate, but they're the sort of things he needs to happen. He needs a little bit of running. He didn't get it, and he left the chance. Still a great pot, of course, from Trump.
I wonder if he'll play into the bunch, or if he could just get to that left-hand red. He would be on the red to the right corner, but he's not got a lot of leeway to get into it. Might have to play into them. Yeah. He's got the formula of winning, hasn't he? He's not necessarily on a red all that great here. Let's see it again. Formula is to be in the tournament, but by the time we reach the weekend stage, and then that's when he raises his game. Another terrific shot.
33.请观众把手机调成静音，谢谢。
Few alerts going off. Again, the referee just asking people to turn their phones to silent. Extraordinary scenes last night, weren't there, when Ding finally beat Neil Robertson and sort of had a police escort out of the arena because the fans were whipped up into a frenzy. What a remarkable finish that was. But maybe that's taken something out of him. Well, you feel it would have to have done.
He looks a little disappointed with that. Perhaps he's not on the red to the right corner that he's closest to. Perhaps the right-hand red, the top red.
请现场的观众都确认一下手机调成静音。工作人员看一下，听到声音把下面手机再响，直接把它带出赛场，谢谢。
Well, I mean, the referee is trying her best here, but still disturbances.
Hasn't put him off, though, at least.
It's
been a beautiful break, actually. I know he's a long way in front. I know the pressure's off, but
67.
There's always a little bit of jitters. You don't want anyone telling you you've won until you get out there and can convert it. I'm sure his brother Jack wouldn't have been in that position. Gee, he knows better. But the best way to take away any possible nerves, is to start like he has.
Yeah, I don't think with his experience there was any doubt that he would take chances if he got them. So Ding has got to try not to leave any. I mean, he left a long red. It was missable, of course, but Trump thundered it in to this pocket and has just kept going.
74.
Yeah, it was definitely a missable red, but he didn't ever look like missing it. It was so solidly struck. And of course, we know it's his trademark, his long game. Occasionally, it goes astray.
79.
And he has to win in other ways, but looks to be there today.
Well, let's be clear, these tournaments are very hard to win, these flat 1-2-8 tournaments. He's had to play every day. They both have, actually, because their matches were held over from the qualifying. So there's no sort of rest time. And what Trump's become really good at, actually, is playing when he's not at his best. He seems to build himself into tournaments, but then when he gets to the final, to this sort of stage, he turns it on.
88.
Well, that's the secret of success for a great player, isn't it? Of course, Stephen Hendry, the player that springs to mind that was like that. I mean, he used to speak about the World Championships, didn't even start until the
95.
semi-final one-table setup. That was the kind of player he was.
96.
And anything but a victory, even a runner-up position, was like a defeat for him. A failure.
Judd Trump's 7th century of the tournament, his first of the final, and his 75th of the season.
It's been
105.
quite a beautiful break, this, I have to say. It's even that's black that he screwed in to get on the second last red.
This is exactly how Ding, of course, wanted to start, but just didn't get the chance. He couldn't quite see the initial red from the Trump break-off. Again, it's just fractions. And then, as I say, nearly snookered him behind the green, but it didn't happen as the cue ball goes on a little tour here.
I think he tried to get the pink out into play there, which
112.
is about the only thing he's done wrong in this break. Not able to achieve that.
Well, he's done it now. What a shot.
Well, that's I know it's end of frame, but that's one of the great shots you'll see all season.
Any suggestion that the butterflies might overwhelm him have been completely dispelled. He's making a dash for the winning line in style. The black for a total clearance of 130. Judd Trump is just 2 away from retaining this World Open title. What a start to the evening. He leads Ding Junhui 8-2.
From 11, Ding Junhui to break.
He's capable, of course, we know, of the heavy hitting. He's made 9 centuries himself in the tournament. But time's running out.
Well, after the red that he potted in the previous frame, I suppose that looked like it was over the pocket, but more evidence that not always the break-off is much of an advantage, especially against this man, I suspect. He just seems to be devouring the long pots.
3.
Doesn't look in any part of the back of his mind that he's about to relinquish this lead, does it? This is the best he's played all week.
$11. $12.
Just the red at the base of the bunch. With maybe a slight angle on it. Yeah, he nudged the other reds, but they didn't really move, although they can be moved at any point that he wants, because his cue ball control on the black is perfect every time. Not going to play into this time, but I get the feeling it's just around the corner.
27.
Might not be able to stay on the black very easily this time. Not that I should think he's that bothered. Because we've had a 147 this week already. By Zach Surety. Against Ding.
Yeah, I say if Zach's watching, he'll be bothered. The fact he didn't go for it. Money's safe. What a great moment that was. I think we're hopefully going to see it later if there's an interval. It might not be, though.
Yeah, it was the first 147 to be made against Ding Junhui in China. And we've seen that the crowd are really behind him, although they thoroughly enjoyed that break, as I recall. Made against their man.
$34.
Unsure as to how he's going to play this. The left-hand red, it wouldn't be his red of choice. It's taking him up the table, perhaps to hold off the blue or even a lower value colour than that.
35.
But the red to the right corner, the other red, would have been maybe just going into the black or the red next to the pink. He wasn't certain of position. I'm sure he'll screw into the top red here. Reds could go everywhere. And that's always the thing that can happen. Always the thing on that shot. And you know it when you play the shot. If anything, the better you play it, the more chance of red going in because the red split better. We saw the replay of the shot, and it wasn't a direct plant. It just skimmed off another red. So he couldn't have known about it. I don't feel that helps very much, quite honestly, going there at this stage. Because I think Ding would like to get an angle on this black just to go into them, and the pink just means he's got an even smaller target from black into the bunch with the pink in the way.
$13.
Yes, I think that's made him have to play a different shot. Looks like he can just nudge the four reds clear this time. Now, does the pink go on its own spot, or is it still going in below? Yes, there's room this time, so that's absolutely fine.
$20.
I think the final certainly needs this frame to go in the way of Ding Junhui. It's an obvious statement, but certainly the spectators would love to see a comeback. I don't mind about the bad luck that, of course, Judd suffered.
$21.
He was unlucky. I guess if Karen Wilson's watching, he might say, what about that? The flukes you had a green on brown against me, but these things happen. It's about how your opponent picks up on them.
$26. $27.
Little touch here to finish the right side of the table and behind the red into the opposite corner. Those shots do not look much, but Ding Junhui plays them as well as anybody. If you're not timing the ball, the cue ball can just move further away from the next red than you want it to. Now his thoughts are on the red just below the pink. and whether the pink and the red will go. So he's looking a couple of shots ahead here.
$35. $41. $42.
Well, his speciality has always been his cue ball excellence.
49.
The fact that it doesn't really travel very far away from the next ball. I wouldn't call him a power player or, you know, the best long putter in the game, but you know, his short game is absolutely immaculate when he's in full flow. He's barely played anything remotely as a difficult shot in the whole break.
57.
He's done every ball perfectly.
So the pack split turned the frame. It's too early to say whether it'll turn the match, but credit to Ding for stepping in and taking advantage. The only way he can put pressure on is to do this, is to win frames in one visit, if he gets the chances.
$66. $71.
You've got to fight, haven't you? You've got to show that you're not going to lie down. And that's what he's done here. Judd Trump was unlucky. Ding Junhui has stepped in and has made a terrific clearance to win his first frame of the night. Trump leads 8-3. So that 84 clearance from Ding Junhui has kept this final alive. 8-3. Trump still with a very handsome lead. And of course, he did nothing wrong. He was just unlucky. But he did lose the frame. Something putting him off. It's that end is where the photographers are. I don't want to pin the blame on anybody, but it's not the audience at that end. It is there'll be officials and photographers and people working on the event.
Yeah, I made the point. I mean, of course, he can pop terrific long balls, but he's not. That's not something he'd be #1 in the world at. Now, what's happened? Judd just waiting and seeing what he can pot here. Might be looking at double. Seen a lot of those go in this week, doubles. His attempt would be to have covered that left-hand red. Could be that he also plays a double to right middle.
Just thinking, looking at Ding, it's 19 years now since he won the 2005 China Open in Beijing. It wasn't the first ranking event in China, but it was by far the most significant because his victory at the age of just 18 sparked the boom that all the players since have been able to benefit from. Of course, we had to take a pause because of the pandemic. It's been great to be back in China, and the enthusiasm of the fans. At times, obviously, they've been have to be told to calm down, but it's brilliant to see. And that is also brilliant to see if you're a Judd Trump fan. What a pot to get himself in.
Amazing red, wasn't it? And I think Ding was quite happy to leave him it because he played the double knowing it was there.
Yeah, there's been, of course, 4 tournaments here in China this season. There's going to be another one in Jan next season, a ranking event, and who knows after that. But Judd Trump, if he were to win here, in fact, whoever won out of the 2 of them, they would have won 7 ranking titles in China, tying Mark Selby's record.
9. Thirteen.
Well, he's looking going into the bunch again. I wonder if in the back of his mind he's hoping that the same fate doesn't come his way as in the previous frame where he knocked a red in on this shot. It's a really good split. He hit the pink square on, and the reds have gone everywhere, most of them in open play.
Yeah, it looks like help yourself time now. But we know, and we saw it in the last frame in a different scenario, one shot can turn things. They're all there for Ding as well if he falters here.
$34. 35. 41. 42.
He's really pleased to move that red that's to the left of the black. It's just stopping him from playing on the black to both corners. Not feeling that that was the right moment to do so. I mean, he doesn't have to shift it, but it would make things even easier. But it does look very much like a chance to add another frame. When the reds split in the way they did, a complete contrast to the previous frame where he knocked one in.
49.
It's all very neat, isn't it, the way that he's playing. In fact, the pair of them in this evening's session, the cue ball has been
55.
a very good control. Often playing into an area where more than
56.
one red would be available. More so in the case of Judd, whereas Ding was just immaculate in the previous frame when he had the chance. Not a lot to do to get another frame one and get to within a frame of the title.
52. 63.
Yeah, this pink is the ball. Just checking. Wants another red, though. It's one snooker needed at the moment. And then he'll want another century. Judd Trump was born in August 1989. At that time, the undisputed king of snooker was Steve Davis. He was world champion. He was world #1. If Trump wins this final, he will have equalled Steve Davis's tally of 28 ranking titles. Very different era back then. When he turned pro, there was actually only one ranking tournament, the World Championship. And of course, as the talisman of the 80s, he
76.
had a lot to do with the fact the circuit built up to where we are now. Even so, in this era that's so competitive, to have won that many at such a young age is very, very impressive. And you just know there'll be more as well. Of course, RonnieO'Sullivan is out in front on 41.
'83.
Bearing in mind, Trump won his first 13 years ago,
84.
so it's actually 28 in 13 years. Well, he could well have made a century in the last frame, but for the knocking that red in off the blue. But, of course, he made one in the first of the night.
92.
And needs to get on this last red now to make one in the third of the night. Yeah, it's not exactly on it ideally. Didn't matter, in all the way.
It's amazing, isn't it, to have the ability to pop when you're close in and then you lose position and you can pop an amazing ball like that, Reddy did down the cushion just then. That's a pity he didn't go on and give us a few more thrills.
Well, there may be some more in what could now be the last frame coming up. 106 from Trump. He's on the brink, one away from retaining the title, leading 9-3. Trump needs one more, and he's champion in Yushan.
Well, he might have left the red available by the black, next to the black, and I see no reason why Ding would refuse it, because I don't see that you can afford to just wait for something to happen. Wait for your opponent to miss, because Judd isn't missing. Somehow find the initiative yourself. Ding's got to do that, but he's overcut it by a mile. And he's in again. Of course, he took that break, didn't he? He didn't play in the Welsh Open, Judd, and some people criticised him for it. But I think he was entitled to have a week off. I mean, the Welsh has always been a well sort of received event. Players love playing in it. As far as the home nations are all good, but that's the one that's been going the longest. But he took the week off, which he doesn't do very often, and come back, and it's probably paid dividends.
Yeah, I think Trump wouldn't miss a tournament unless he felt he needed to. So he made the decision and can't really argue with it now. This is his first chance to win the title. They're blessed, aren't they? There's so many tournaments. If you're at the top of the game, you do get the choice. We've seen RonnieO'Sullivan manage his season really superbly. But of course, they will both be at the Crucible, and we don't yet know exactly who's going to be seeded where, whether they could meet in the final, the semi-finals, we'll find out. But it kind of feels like they are on a collision course there. They've been the two players of the season. A lot of other people, of course, will have a say in that, but in a few weeks' time, we're going to find out.
14.
There is the curveball, of course, in Sheffield, potentially playing Neil Robertson in round one. We know he's got to qualify now after yesterday's defeat.
Yes, and from what I saw of Neil Robertson, his game is certainly coming back into shape. I thought he was, it's an odd thing to say, I thought he was almost a better player yesterday against Ding. Just couldn't quite get the result.
22. 他进步。
Well, this has gone wrong. Not much has this evening.
Yes, he's very good at getting into the reds and opening them up, but they didn't really move. So now, with touching ball, he can play directly away from a red. I think touching ball was called, yeah. They sometimes get a little greedy, if you like, on that shot, and they play in behind a colour. And, of course, if you don't get the snooker, you leave a possible red. But he has got the snooker. No, it's not very nice, is it? Not only is he in trouble, he knows that if he does make a mistake, then this could easily be the last shot he plays. The kind of form his opponent is in. Can't think that Judd has missed the ball in live play tonight. He just played that foul, knocked the red in. That's all he's done wrong, really. Didn't get position just now, but he didn't end up missing anything. Playing a little swerve. Probably as good as he could have hoped for that. But again, there is a thin red to right corner, and I'm not sure Judd will refuse it. There's one to the middle as well. Well, there is a ball that's missed, although it wasn't an easy one. Still would count against him on that score. Not sure if he can get through to the red close to the pocket, though, here, Ding. Maybe just. Might have to play with a trace of left-hand side. It's not an easy shot to pot it from there. Put too much on it, too much of the red, perhaps. Done well. Well, the crowd would like to see a lot more of this match, of course. Many are supporting Ding Junhui. We heard that yesterday. There's no question who they're supporting. But I think even a neutral might want Ding to come back into this match.
5.
Make more of a game of it than it has been.
Yeah, I mean, the last ranking final to go to a decider was 14 months ago now. It was January last year. It was Trump actually lost it to Mark Allen at the World Grand Prix. We did have a 10-8 at the Players' Championship, but a lot of finals now seem to be quite one-sided. This could yet get closer, of course.
Searching. Fourteen. 21.
Yes, he put in a little bit of a quick one there, as sometimes he does on the more powerful shots he might play. The Reds have not opened up very well. Recovery shot to middle required here. I think a bit of an annoyance will be that he's now queuing directly over the red if he plays the black, which means it's awkward. Could have finished anywhere down that right side and not been hampered by the red. It's a shot he played particularly well. There was a couple yesterday, cutback pinks that
35.
sent the cue around the angles. I don't see how he could have played it any better than that, landing on a red. I think he had a little bit of right-hand side or left-hand side on there, which kind of checked the cue ball. What do you do here? Do you roll up behind the green? Doesn't want to play it really, but he might have no choice. The blue does not leave an obvious red. He's going to play it anyway. I don't know if he's out of frustration. Looks like he's attempting to pot his way out of this situation, because that was a tough blue to play on a possibly even tougher red along the cushion.
Guess he's reached that point now where he's going to kind of throw his arm at a few. Another tough one, this. Yeah, it looked wide.
Junhui, 41.
He can't keep potting difficult balls, especially with the pressure he's under.
No, he's gone from the elation of last night, that extraordinary win over Neil Robertson. He actually said at the end, I can't feel my legs. He was so sort of nervous and discombobulated by it all, to now the other side of snooker, which is when you're on the end of quite a heavy defeat, which looks quite likely, even if he wins this frame. Well, he sits down looking a bit frustrated. He's open reds up, but he has left a long one on.
Well, this time he somehow has put both of the high-value colours into awkward positions, which he could have absolutely done without. He might just decide to bring one of them back into play and play safe here. Only a few behind, but I think he'd rather the big value colours out in open play. Yeah, he's going to try and move the black to the accompaniment of a mobile phone going off somewhere in the stadium. I think that's the right shot, get the black into a better spot than it was in. Oh, is he going for this as well? Goodness me. There's just signs that he wants to go for everything now, because the blue followed by the red in the last visit, and now that was not really a Ding Junhui sort of shot. I think the frustration of the occasion and the pressure that Judd's put him under has made him take on shots that he wouldn't usually have played.
Yeah, and he's opening up a frame where he's in front. You know, usually you do the opposite. You try and close it down. And he could have left an absolute sitter there, and he could have finished anywhere, the balls. Well, he comes to the table rather quickly here because it doesn't look like Trump's quite got the cover.
I agree with you. I didn't think he'd got the cover either, but he now has changed his mind. Felt that red might be part of what is sometimes awkward when there is a ball very close to your line and where the cue ball is. I suspect he can get to this, but it is a tight one, of course. Amazing what you can see behind the line of the shot as we get a terrific view watching behind the camera. Say one thing for Ding Junhui, you know, he will go up to 7 in the world. And you go back to before last season's UK Championship, he was into the 30s. People said he was a bit of a spent force at the game. Hadn't shown any real motivation. But he's right there where he should be, single figure ranking.
10.
Yeah, where he belongs, absolutely. Now then, he needs a couple of reds here to take us to the interval.
11.
Well, one thing he hasn't got is an angle on the black that's suitable. So I'm not sure quite where the next red will come from now. Just couldn't get close to a red. If you're going to play the one down the cushion, then really it's a little bit all or nothing.
18.
I mean, it will be the red that he needs, but it's quite difficult. Played it with almost an escape route, but didn't he play it well?
Ding Junhui, 19.
So he's 37 in front with 35 on, and he's got Trump snookered. It's looking like 9-4. Well, it's over the pocket. So frame conceded. So Ding has hung on, but Judd Trump, remember the 2 frames he won tonight were both with centuries. He's still a heavy favourite for victory, but we are going to the mid-session interval. Trump leading 9-4.
Judd Trump to break.
To him, he needs one more. Ding needs what feels like a bit of a miracle comeback. He did, of course, win the pre-interval frame. He was 7-2 down coming into tonight. Trump's had 2 centuries already in this session. But that is an absolute perler from Ding. What a beautiful shot.
Yeah, he didn't mean to get on the black quite like that, and he was on it. And I would expect him to get it, but it was not a simple black, I'll say.
保持安静，谢谢。1.
Well, he did have a chance in the previous frame, a couple actually, but here we go again. Trump needing one more to retain this title. Of course, he won it in 2019.
Yes, he's awkward on the red to the corner, but he's got the backup red to right middle.
8.
You know, on the assumption that Judd goes on to win. There's not that many players have lifted titles this season. It's been the same players doubling up and trebling up. Someone that has won a couple of ranking events that you know, wasn't thought of as a real big hitter as Gary Wilson. He's won a couple of home nations events, so well done to him. You know, he's one of the winners, having done so, as I say, twice. We're just seeing a lot of tournaments won by the same players, aren't we? Mark Allen's won a couple, and of course Ronnie, we know about that. Zhang An has been in a final as well as winning a really big event pre-Christmas, the International. So you know, maybe with the World Championships coming, there's a chance for others to step up and play the best snooker at the biggest of them all. But it's the same old faces.
Yeah, and that's what's intriguing about the Crucible. Will it be one of those, or will it be someone like last year? Luca Brissell sort of came, not out of nowhere by any means, but in terms of his pedigree there, he wasn't fancied. We'll find out. April the 20th. And of course, before that, the qualifiers, April the 8th.
Yeah, just because as we wait for the balls to be replaced. Last year, Luca Brissell started with the Championship League, didn't he, at the start of the ranking event version, finished it with the World Championships. On that basis, Sean Murphy will be world champion, but it doesn't always work quite like that.
$16.
Yes, of course, the World Championship looms large, but we mustn't brush aside how difficult it is to win tournaments like this. These flat 1-8 events, playing every day, coming to China, sort of battling, you know, problems with sleep and all the rest of it, just turning up every day and putting in a good enough display, which he's done. And he certainly produced some great stuff in this match, not least in this session.
$24.
That's a very good shot. It's worked out delightfully. Look at what he's left. 3 reds right in the centre of the table to extend his lead. He will be a little disappointed if he doesn't get the match won here. The kind of form he's been in this evening, he's been terrific. I know he only shared the first 4 frames, but goodness me, he was good. It was only perhaps where he knocked that red in where he came unstuck in the 2nd frame of the evening. He probably would have
39.
knocked in a century there as well.
$40. $47. $48.
Seems to have looked at the 2 reds at the bottom of the bunch to the left corner as if he thinks perhaps they're a plant. He's got another red anyway, so the red at the top of the bunch also is there, but he is keen on the bottom 2.
55.
Yeah, well, they're absolutely in line, aren't they? Absolutely dead in line.
So he's got the reds where he needs them. He's already 55 in front. Didn't finish great here.
No, I think he just overhit that slightly. I'm sure he played on the top red to the right corner. He might end up playing the same red to the middle pocket instead. Depends on whether he feels he can get position doing that. The left-hand red is quite an acute angle. It might go to middle, but he'd have to play it slowly. Yeah, I think he's going to still play the red to right corner, despite the cue ball having to go all around the angles. Never in, was it? I think he must have hit the jaws of the middle pocket there, because the cue ball didn't expect to see over on that left side of the table like that.
He'd
be annoyed there, because he probably might have felt he could have closed the match out with that visit.
Yeah, it would surely have been over had that gone in, but it hasn't, so... A lifeline thrown to Ding.
1.
Yeah, it is a lifeline. It's the last life, isn't it, that he's going to get. Either he does this visit, or surely the match is completely gone. He was on the brink of that, wasn't he? But this chance has appeared.
Eight. Nine. Fifteen. 16.
Whatever he does do here, you'd expect that it comes down to that left-hand red up the table. As I mentioned earlier, when Judd was at the table, it's a question of does it roll into the middle slowly? Will he end up playing the double, depending on where he finishes, but it's a very narrow angle to middle.
23.
You can see it even better from that shot, that it's not easy. And of course it's more relevant to whether he clears up than anything. Might be in a position to just nudge it further up the cushion from the next red, depending on where he finishes here. Yeah, I think if he could, he will try and flick that red closer to the left middle than it is now.
30. 31.
Tried and failed. Definitely what he played.
The frustration of that shot is a microcosm of the frustration in general in how he's played in this final, because he has played great stuff all week.
Well, it's his sort of shot as well that he didn't manage to achieve there. Lovely touch player. I think he's gone too far for the double, so this is the shot he's faced with, and it is that same option to the middle. If he wants to play it at all, it looks as if he might be even considering not doing so. Yeah, he didn't go for that. Other people might have thought he did.
35.
The key thing here is all those 22 behind, they're all there if he does get a chance at this red. So this frame's still in the balance.
Trump doesn't want that one back. He's happy with that outcome.
Junhui 4.
It's not an easy replacement because even a millimetre either way, I mean, surely it was not anything like this, was it? Can't have been like that. Must have been over more because he wouldn't have played that shot. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult replacement. I'm not saying anything about the standard refereeing. I'm just saying it's an awkward one because it, you know, he's playing a deft little swerve around, but the balls, if they're slightly wrong, the shot becomes almost impossible or too easy.
Good technology, though, isn't it? We don't have that for some reason in the UK events, but it got it sorted out quickly.
Wonder if he can get the elevation here. Again, it wasn't anything like that. But, I mean, sometimes a player might even get the spider out for a shot like this and just cue down on the ball. You get better elevation because he's got to get a swerve, and the more you raise the butt of the cue, the more swerve spin you would get. Both shots have been almost identical in the way that he's missed them. The other problem he's got here, if he plays it any slower, the spin will take more, but you're playing against the nap, and of course, left-hand side will go to the right against the nap, played very gently. I don't know if it would come into the equation here, but he might have to play a different shot before too long.
请大家保持安静。
Not getting anywhere, is he, Dave?
No, and the points are racking up, and the crowd are kind of, they've seen so much great snooker this week, they can't believe he keeps missing it. It's 4 times now.
Yeah, almost identical shots as well. The attempts haven't really got any better. He's got to get more elevation. Yeah. I think he just got the butt of the cue raised a little more there, and that enabled that slight amount more spin to be placed on the ball. Judd might be able to put some distance between the two balls here if he can. Play off the cushion and shift the red down the table. Giving him a half chance, Ding. This is not easy at all, but it's a shot he won't be refusing.
Big shot. It could be his last. If he misses it, if he gets it, we could be going into another frame. Oh, hang on. Well, it looked for a minute those kisses might have been good until he went in off.
Yeah, I think he was a bit unlucky to glance off both blue and green.
Trump won't need that blue that's gone safe. In goes the red, so another chance for Judd Trump to get this one.
Yeah, the blue going safe, not a problem, is it, for Judd? It would be a problem for Ding if he got back to the table. Of course, he can get the match won before that ball is the ball on the blue.
It's actually been a brilliant session, hasn't it? It's just that obviously Trump came into it with such a commanding lead.
It's been very good. Ding has played a lot better this evening, strangely, but with so much to do from this afternoon, especially with Judd Trump arguably playing even better snooker. Meanwhile, Zhu Ying, the referee's got enough to contend with, putting the balls back, officiating the game and keeping the crowd under control.
Well, the green is for the title. It's to put him 23 in front with 22 on. There was a moment there, absolute calm, wasn't there? Everyone went quiet. So Judd Trump, poised for the third time in his career to have won at least 5 ranking titles in a season. For the third time to have gone over £1 million prize money for a season. And he's going to tie the great Steve Davis in 4th place on the all-time list of ranking event winners with 28.
Judd Trump, 17.
Unless Ding gets these snookers.
Yeah, he's probably got to carry on. He needs 2 to win. Most unlikely. But if you don't try, you'll never find out. Looked in, but it just pulled away ever so slightly at the last couple of rolls. Now 2 on the pink and black. I've seen it done, but only about once or twice ever.
Well, if he ends up winning the frame and the title, we'll be talking about this in 40 years. That's how unlikely it is, but he's giving it a go. He's had a great week, Ding. It's great to see him playing well. I think all fans, certainly here in China, but right around the world, like seeing him knocking in the big breaks. But something about Judd Trump in these finals, he seems to play his best snooker of the week when he gets to a final. He's so good at getting wins on the board, getting through those early rounds, and then turning up for big occasions like this. I feel sure if this wasn't the end of the match, he wouldn't be trying to get these, but he's just feeling he should give it some sort of go. It's very hard.
Yeah, I mean, to get 2, 1 is extremely difficult. You've got to get it almost straight away because of the chance of the person who's in front just putting the balls over the pockets, or in the pockets in this case.
Yeah, that's it now. Judd Trump's brilliant season continues here in Yushan. He wins his 5th ranking title of a campaign that is not yet over. to defend the World Open title.
Junhui.